Welcome to our latest episode of Let's Chat with Tanya Lightborn. Today my guest is Jheaneale Marshall, and I'm super excited to welcome her because today we're going to chat about autism. I feel like there is such a stigma attached to just special needs kids, period. I also think that the word autism is thrown around a lot, especially in the last 2 to 3 years with the pandemic, rearing its ugly head. And you're living it. Like you're living, breathing every day. You're living it every day. So I'm pleased to welcome you to shed some more light, with parents that are dealing with it just, on a daily basis, and they are unsure how to navigate these waters. So welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And absolutely.
Yeah, I would say it is a taboo, but I find that there's 2 types of parents.
Mm-hmm.
So parent number 1 kind of feels like it's taboo and maybe not want to talk about it so much.
Okay.
They keep it private.
Yeah.
And then there's parents like me who go, "Hi, this is Bear. He's autistic." Like it's almost like a full sentence because I just feel like, first of all, I'm proud of my autistic child.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so proud of him, and any little thing that he does, I'm that parent.
Any milestone.
Yeah. It's just, I'm so excited
you
about
celebrate it.
But I also introduce him that way because I am trying to bring awareness,
Gotcha. Yeah.
Unless you feel it, you're not going to know.
It.
And I don't expect people to know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be like, "Oh, you should know these things."
Yes.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I definitely, that definitely resonates with me. I want to just dive a little bit deeper into your story. So Jheaneale has 2 amazing kids, Penelope and Bear. What is Bear his full name, his first name? Is he affectionately called Bear?
He's affectionately. He's an Edward the Third. So we have too many Edwards running around.
Okay.
So I was like, "You're Bear."
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. And the age difference between Penelope and Bear?
Penelope's going to be 17 this year. And Bear is going to be 5. No, he is 5. He's going to be 6.
Bless our hearts.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. I have an 11-year time difference. 11-year age difference.
Yeah. I know. Well, they're helpful though.
Yeah.
At least.
Built-in babysitters.
It is.
Until they say, "Please take your child."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Penelope, she's so helpful.
Yeah.
She's really been like a big caregiver and a rock, and they have such a connection. She spoils
For
him.
sure.
Oh, if he wants to do something and I say no, he'll go to sister.
He goes to Penelope.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness! But my toddler does the same thing. She'll cry and she'll say, "We go." Oh, her name is Layla. She'll say, "We go." Like, sorry, you telling on me? Like, what's really happening here? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, built-in babysitters for sure. And I mean, outside of that advantage, like they're just very protective of their siblings for sure. To the point where I think I first noticed that type of relationship that Penelope had with him because she is such a huge advocate for autism. In fact, that was one of her platforms for the competition, the pageant that she competed in.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that because you have a beauty queen as well.
No. So she's currently Teen Universe Bahamas, and her platform is autism, not awareness so much, but acceptance. And that was very important for her and us as a family.
Okay.
Because I think at this point, we know autism exists, right? We don't want to just say, "Oh, just awareness of it." Oh yeah, I feel like if you've been around long enough, we know it exists. Now we're trying to move it more into everyday life. When you go to just a public space, the staff should know what to look out for. It should be a training. There should be some sort of sensitivity training of, special needs kids and parents. And when a child is throwing a tantrum, it's not just because they're being rude.
Exactly.
Right? There may be an underlying issue.
Yeah.
Right? So that was a big thing.
Yeah, because I mean, that can be exhaustion, that can be child is hungry, just that. I mean, we're off as adults, right? We
Yeah.
can wake up and just wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and that's a thing.
Right.
That's a real thing. And I think culturally, as a Caribbean society, we're focused so much on, this child's being rude, or you know what I
Exactly.
mean, and not meeting the child where they are. Not meeting the child where they are. So I feel like that's important as well. I want to speak a little bit about when you first learned that Bear was autistic. Well, so let me backtrack a little bit, because to the parents or persons watching who are not sure about autism, because the term is thrown around.
Yeah.
What is the easiest definition you would give to someone who asks, what does autism mean?
Well, I want to first say that I come here as no expert.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're
I am literally just winging it.
Yeah.
I would say I'm here more so to be relatable to other parents,
Yeah.
especially moms, who are going through this. And what would I say autism is? It's just a way of how the brain works, right? So if you've met one autistic child, you've met one autistic child.
Yeah.
And when I say that, it means they're all so different. There definitely is similarities that you
Yeah.
can look at and be like, oh, I can see that child is probably on the spectrum.
Yeah.
But their personalities, like every child, is so different, right?
Yeah.
But the way that they compute and kind of navigate the world is so different.
Yeah.
Compared to a neurotypical child. Their interests might be intense.
Yeah.
They tend to obsess over things. Like my son loves animals.
Okay.
It's all
just
animals.
animals. Yeah.
Oh,
it's all about them.
Animals all day, every day.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, right?
Okay.
So, but it really is just how the brain works differently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If you were to put it in a nutshell.
Oh yeah.
How would you? I guess it's not a how. What was your first reaction once learning about the possibility of him being autistic?
Well, it was a lot of back and forth because we did discover, early on, too late really, at
Okay.
2, that he was fully deaf in the left ear, partially hearing in the right.
Got it.
So we did the surgery, and even doctors were like, oh, that's what it is. That's
Yeah.
why he's not speaking. That's why he's kind of navigating the world in a different way.
Yeah.
Well, once the surgery was done, as a mom, we always know.
You just know.
We
It's
just know
intuitive.
there's
Yeah.
something, right? And I was like, there's something more, right?
Yeah.
Come to find out, he was on the spectrum. And I find that I can kind of smile about it now, but there's definitely 4 stages of when you realize your child is autistic. The first
Yes.
is devastation.
Oh, wow.
And I think all moms or parents, they go through that, right? And you should be allowed to go through that.
Absolutely.
And you question, like, did I do something? And I'm here to say, no,
No.
you did not. There's
Right.
nothing that happens. It's genetic. Of course, there's controversy of why it happens and things like that, but it's happened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're devastated as
Yeah.
a parent. Then the second phase is you then pull your big girl pants up, like I say,
Yeah.
and join all the Facebook groups, join all the support groups, do all the research on internet, put them in all the therapy.
Yeah.
And then the third stage is burnout. You can't keep up with that,
Yeah.
right? So my advice to parents who just find out, do not join any. Get off of all.
Wow.
Do not.
It's exhausting, eh?
It consumes your life.
Wow.
Because there's nothing to fix right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you want to know information.
Of course.
Get in touch with the therapist, the specialist, and maybe 1 or 2 moms that you can talk to personally.
Right.
But if you are in these groups that have so many different experiences, and God knows what kind of parenting tactics they have,
Yeah.
or spirituality tactics, or whatever, right? Like, it's just too much energy.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Just narrow it down. Get out of the groups. You are going to melt down. You'll burn out.
Yeah.
And then stage 4 is you just come to realization that this is life.
Yeah.
And you take one day at a time, and they'll master this one thing, then you have to move on to the other thing, another thing. So,
Yeah. And you celebrate the milestones.
oh my gosh,
Like such a big deal.
it's such a big, and
Yeah.
that's really where you find your joy.
For sure.
You know, we take really like for granted neurotypical kids of what they just can do. Like,
Yeah.
oh, go outside and play, or go get this from the kitchen.
Yeah.
And they can do it.
Until they can't understand, or until you have a child who has that challenge, and you're like, okay, well, what do I do?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. When we return from the break, we're going to chat with Jheaneale some more about the joys of having an autistic child. Jheaneale, I'd like to talk about Bear, and well, affectionately called Bear.
Yes.
But I'd like to talk about him and the quality of life he's had since being diagnosed. I imagine during that time you would have been advised, okay, these are, I don't know, 3 to 4 steps that you would have taken. And so based on our conversation, you said that he's now in school
Yes.
and he's doing therapy.
Yes.
Yes. There's such a stigma attached to therapy, period. But as a mom of 2, I feel like, you know, the milestones are what's really to be celebrated, not the fact that, oh, they're going through this therapy, you know. And when I say celebrated, well, we know celebration, like big breakdown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
all
huge
the
one.
bells and whistles, tell everybody,
Yeah.
reward. But you know, I feel like that is equally as important. How would you say his, I guess as best as possible, how would you describe his quality of life in terms of being accepted? I know one of your platforms is inclusion. And making people more aware of these kids, and just that, you know, there's just a challenge here, but you know, we have to include them like it's normal life.
It is. Well, what I find recently is that the younger kids aren't. I don't know if it. When we grew up, we didn't see it as much, right?
Yeah.
I don't know
I can't
when the
say.
shift happened.
Yeah.
So he does. We have friends, and they bring their kids over, or if I take them to the park or somewhere, kids aren't mean.
Okay.
That's not their spirit, right?
No.
But they are inquisitive. So they will ask, like, why
Isn't he
isn't he
talking?
talking?
Yeah.
Why does he make those sounds? Why doesn't he want to come play with me? Kind
Yeah.
of thing. But it really is just questions.
Okay.
And it doesn't bother them. They'll still go to play. They'll
Of
still
course.
try.
Of course.
So I think that parents now, with more exposure, are doing a great job teaching their kids to be more compassionate. And that's so important. With inclusion, I would love to see more companies do more training. So our age range can
Yeah.
catch up to what the little kids are doing. They want to know. They want to have them included. So this kind of thing in the Bahamas, we're ready for it.
I think so.
I'm going to say a number. Do not hold me 100% to it. But
Right.
apparently the statistic is 1 in every 60 1 in every 60 children in the Bahamas have autism.
Okay.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Our country's very
Population,
small.
yeah.
So if 1 in every 60 of us have autism, it's here.
Yeah.
We're ready for this.
It's present,
It's
yeah.
present.
Yeah.
Schools, and they do have schools here, a lot of the government programs, which I'm doing just research about it now,
Okay.
have classes that have special needs classes, right?
Okay. Okay.
So,
Yeah, and I totally agree. I think that we do need to make them feel like they are a part of society.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong, you know, to the point where we can't, because I feel like children are taught this, just like they're taught racism.
Yeah.
They're taught colorism, they're taught classism.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when we know better, we do better.
Yeah.
And so if there are forums, or if there are, even just if it's in the school system where, these kids are still they're being sent to regular schools.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, maybe parents can't afford the therapy, or, time is not on their side, or time is not their friend. They just want to be able to say, hey, I sent my child to school. Now, have they been diagnosed with autism, or is that the case? I can't say. I know something is wrong. However, I'm just doing the right thing by sending the child to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully in the future, all schools will have a special needs program.
Exactly.
A special needs class. I think that's needed now.
Mm-hmm.
Therapy is very expensive.
Oh, I know.
It's
amazing.
It's outrageous.
Yeah.
So to say that the average person can
afford it.
to send them to school and therapy, or just therapy, or any of that, and this is not a luxury.
Yeah.
We're not talking about something extra. This is a necessity.
Yeah.
We have to be able to teach these children to be self-sufficient, to become adults who are self-sufficient.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about luxury.
No.
Anything.
Most parents are just trying to get by.
Oh gosh.
Most parents are just trying to put grocery in the house, make sure the bills are paid in full.
In full.
So the challenge or challenges that come along with a special needs child, I totally get.
Yeah.
I totally get.
And so now your patients are also worn thin as well. So that's another thing with parents who have special needs kids.
Yeah. Can you speak to that?
Oh Lord.
It's like, Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change.
Every day. That is my prayer, literally every day. As soon as I wake up, I say this in my head.
Wow.
Because it's a challenge. We wake up. He has a sensory issue, which a lot of kids with autism have, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people with autism have. He doesn't like socks. So I know I have to prepare myself. I do my little meditation.
Right.
We got to put on the socks.
Uh-huh.
Now, God forbid we get into traffic and somebody cut me off. Now I'm about to lose my mind, right? So we have very little patience for foolishness outside of our kids.
Yeah, because there's this big thing that I deal with daily.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just not cut me off in traffic? Because I'm on the edge some days.
Yeah. But I do find that when you explain, that's why I'm very vocal.
Mm-hmm.
This is Bear. He's autistic. This is what's happening. I actually, I have a small story. Went to the passport office, and again, I always find that we are quick to complain about services, but I'm trying to be more positive.
Yeah.
Went to the passport office, was able to make an appointment, which is great. Special needs appointment. I didn't even know they had. I asked.
That's amazing.
They came, brought him through, and they were
Okay.
like, oh, and they also seem to have a little bit more awareness of it.
Okay.
But this woman with a newborn, she cuts me off. She's like, I was here first. And the woman did not explain anything. She goes, no, she had an appointment. But I knew as a mom of a neurotypical, any new mom, her patients are short too. She has a newborn, right?
All kind of things need to,
Yeah, so I said, I stopped for a second. I turned to her. I said, this is Bear. He's autistic. We made an appointment. And as soon as I said that, she was like, okay, I understand.
Wow.
And I said, I know you have a newborn and your patients are thin too. And she's like, I'm sorry. I was like, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So communication is so important. Take a second.
Yeah.
Everybody's going through something.
Everybody's going through something.
Everybody's going through something. Be compassionate,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So I find that when I do just a little bit of explanation, people go, oh, okay.
I get it. When we get back from the break, we're going to chat with Jheaneale some more about the joys of having two amazing kids. obviously there's joy that comes with having amazing kids, having kids, period. I want to talk a little bit about the challenges of having an autistic child, because like you and I discussed, everything, you know, you're forced to put on a smile and grin and bear it, no pun intended. Like, you know, everything's all roses, everything's coming up roses, but there's some frustration attached to, I mean, you're human, right?
Yeah.
There's some frustration attached to just the entire process. We tell each other to take it one day at a time, and sometimes that is not pretty.
No, it's not. And I really wanted to be here to say it's okay.
Yeah.
To not be okay. It's horrible. I have wine sometimes with another mom who has an autistic child, and we just laugh, and when new moms, and there's always a process. When I found out, I called moms to say, you know, give me advice, like what do I do? And they would giggle and I'd be like, take it seriously.
Oh,
this is
wow.
serious. And they'd be like, they laugh because they've been through the process, right? And I just want to tell moms, new moms, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's going to be rough. You're not going to sleep. Kids with autism don't sleep. Like when I say don't sleep,
meaning he doesn't have a nighttime routine.
We haven't. He just started sleeping, so it means my husband and I have not slept solid like a newborn when you have a newborn for 5 years.
What?
5 years. So he recently just started sleeping.
Wow.
And it's horrible. You're gonna be cranky. You are going to scream at your child, and then you're going to feel bad for screaming at your child. But you learn.
Yes.
You learn how to then learn.
Course.
You know, different little tricks and talk to the therapist. He's doing this. What can I do? And really, really take the advice of the therapist.
Yeah.
You know, this is what they do.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to be here to say that it is not always what you see on social media. And then you see other moms posting about their autistic kid doing this. And you're like, well, why isn't mine doing this?
Exactly.
And now you feel horrible. Just take your time.
Yeah.
They will. I've had so much support, you know, with the potty training. That was a rough one.
Yeah.
Tears? Not from him, from me.
I know.
The tears.
Oh my goodness.
Crying about it. And there's a therapist who lives in Canada. She's Bahamian, lives in Canada, and she started this group. And when I say come off all Facebook groups, come off all, except there's a local WhatsApp group. So if people want more information about it and they reach out to you, I'll give you more information.
Absolutely.
And there's so many people in it. So I contacted her and I was like, I need help. I'm not doing well with this.
Yeah.
And she said, listen, just keep going. He will get this.
Yeah.
And I was like, this woman has no idea what she's talking about. He will not
She's only been in it for X amount of years.
Know.
She has no idea.
And you know what? He did.
He did.
He is potty trained now. So.
I find with autistic kids, do you find the same holds true, that consistency, what is the other word? Consistency, schedule, like them having a schedule or routine. Those things help. So they get to know, okay, I ate, now it's time for me to go in the tub. Now it's time for me to mellow down. Now I play with my iPad or play with my toys. And once you establish that routine, they eventually get it.
Yeah. To a point where if I say we're going to the car. And I'm not really ready to go to the car. He is like,
it's a problem.
You said we're going to the car.
What's happening?
Yeah. So you have to be ready.
Wow.
And I don't know if you remember me from back in the day, but I was, kind of carefree and,
Let's go.
No schedule.
No.
I now plan. And I have never, I feel so grown up, but it is Bear that has taught me that you have to prepare for everything.
That's
I have
amazing.
to schedule. I have to be on it.
Yes.
So, he's made me grow.
I always say,
He's made me grow.
Do or die. Like, do it or die trying.
Yeah.
Parenting is not for the faint.
No.
It comes with no instruction booklets. It's just use that gut feeling, use those instincts, and Godspeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just never know what you're going to... The best advice I've gotten from another mom with an autistic child, and it sounds harsh when you first hear it, was, it's okay. These neurotypical kids aren't doing anything great either, are they? What do you mean? You never know what you're going to get with any child.
You never know. And when it could happen. Because because you can have a neurotypical child, neurotypical or normal child, and something could happen at, I don't know, 10 years old.
Yeah.
Like, you hear the stories. At least I've worked with 2 pediatricians, and listen, you hear the stories. There are the things that happen at birth, of course. There are the things that happen in the womb. There are things that happen at birth, through the whole process, labor and delivery. There are things that happen post-delivery. And then there are the things that happen throughout the years.
Yeah.
And you can never quite prepare for it. I mean, parenting alone is a roller coaster ride, because today they're fine, tomorrow it's an attitude, today it's this, and tomorrow it's so
else.
it's so you try to establish these routines or schedules so that, or have the consistency so that those things are in place. But in terms of, hey, like, can something go wrong, can something perhaps just come up that's unforeseen? Absolutely. And so you basically relying on the skills that you would have learned just coming up, and if it's not for that, you either pray, you talk to other moms, you look into some groups, you do some research, but ultimately you're relying on yourself and your partner. If that's your situation.
And it makes me realize that when you have a special needs child, you just, for some reason, you think that you should be an expert, right? Like, you have this person, and you don't. I mean, when you have a neurotypical child, you also are not an expert parenting.
Because my child is not like yours, and vice versa. We may share, there may be common denominators, but
you're doing just really the best that you can.
Absolutely.
And the same is true. I feel like we have a lot more pressure when you have a special needs child to know exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And the reality is you don't.
No.
Because that's not how parenting works.
Right.
It really does not come with a manual.
Yeah.
You just kind of wing it. And you just do as much research as you can.
Yeah.
Really listen to your child, even though he's nonverbal or she is nonverbal. They will tell you when they are happy or not happy.
Yeah.
Right?
Would you say that having a special needs child, to a certain extent, makes a parent feel like they failed?
100%.
Yeah.
I think they feel like they failed from day one. Because what happened?
Yeah.
And men. We're talking about, we're moms, so we're talking about this, but what about dads? What if this is his first son or his only child?
Yeah.
And what does this mean?
Yeah.
Do we have more kids? All of these things. You feel like you failed from day one.
Yeah.
But you haven't.
There's nothing that you could have done.
This is nothing you could have done.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that they're not, or you are not going to have a wonderful quality of life, right? They do just take longer. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, one day, potty trained.
Yeah, potty trained.
Right? We post about it on
That
Facebook.
is not how that happens.
I know.
But that's how it feels.
Yeah.
It does. Because then you're like, okay, the next thing.
And the next milestone.
Next
Because all
milestone.
my life I had to fight for you to be potty trained.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh, this was such a refreshing conversation, as opposed to, how it may have typically gone with two parents, who said, oh, woe is me, my child is this, and oh, these are the needs, and oh, I have to go to therapy, and it's so expensive. It could be the humdrum kind of conversation, or it could be, listen, this is my reality, and here's how we faced it, and you're gonna be mad some days. Other days it's gonna be
pure joy.
Yeah.
Listen, pure joy.
Because it's just life, and life be life in.
That is the
Especially
realest.
after a pandemic.
Yeah, 100%.
speaking of joy, it's been such a joy to speak with you, to hang out with you, with Bear's mama, with Penelope's mom. It's such a joy to have spoken with you. I'm so glad that you brought, we spoke about this topic, I mean, like months ago, but I'm so happy you were able to sit with us and discuss it and just bring it to the public, because we're not sweeping things under the rug anymore.
No.
We're just, we're laying all the cards out on the table,
Yeah.
and we're gonna keep it that way.
Yeah, we're here.
Awesome.
We are here.
Awesome. Join us next time for another episode of Let's Chat with Tanya Lightborn. A special thank you to my sponsors. I couldn't have done this without you. Thank you to my viewers for watching. We'll see you next time. Hi, my name is Tanya Lightborn. I'm a wife, mom, lifestyle influencer, marketing maven, and now your host. In 2020, at the start of the corona pandemic, I felt the need to create a sense of community and talk with women. Let's Chat with Tanya Lightborn was birthed out of such an uncertain time. The idea behind this movement is to create a forum for mothers who are at the top of their game, inspirational and aspirational. Women who redefine what it means to be strong. We chat about life, parenting, entrepreneurship, business, and everything else in between. Advertise with us and become a part of the conversation with over 5,000 social followers. Let's Chat with Tanya Lightborn, created for moms by a mom.